We have agreed with you that we must begin to live within our means and to begin the journey to slow down on borrowing, because borrowing is becoming a threat to our economy. We have agreed with you that we are going to be regular in making sure that you have information that is necessary for you to make the decisions that you have to as legislators, as people who appropriate government resources for us to run our programs, and as people who provide oversight over what we do as government. The economy is the basis upon which this election was prosecuted. And you now understand where we are in terms of our economic position. We have explained to you our Kenya Kwanza plan. We have explained to you in detail, many of the professionals who are here. We have explained to you matters to do with agriculture and what we need to do with agriculture so that agriculture can lift our economy. And when we say agriculture, we mean from productivity. We have agreed that with appropriate intervention, we can increase our productivity without necessarily increasing the acreage of the land we are using under our agricultural activities. We have agreed with you on how agriculture is going to be used to stimulate and to spur our agro-processing, value addition, all the way to manufacturing and job creation. You now appreciate why UHC can become a reality in the shortest time possible, and the necessary interventions we have to do when it comes to reforming the National Health Insurance Fund and making sure that it works for everybody and leaves no Kenyan behind. You have heard here that every year 1 million Kenyans run the risk of being destitute because of illness. And that is why it is necessary for us to urgently reform the NHIF and roll out our universal health coverage plan, which we sold to the people of Kenya, and that is why they elected us. We've also agreed on what we need to do with our housing plan. You now understand better why this housing plan is not just about building houses. It's a whole concept of transforming communities and transforming our nation. Getting the people in slums to live in decent habitat. Making sure that we create more home owners than rent payers. We also ensure that through the housing plan, we also make millions of our young people to have jobs. We have desegregated the housing plan so that it also begins to create industry. Every item. You know, we have agreed that we are going to standardize doors, windows, hinges, and everything else so that it is possible to produce doors en masse, it is possible to produce windows en masse, it's possible to produce all the components of a house en masse, create industry. You heard from the gentleman from Ngong Road how they got a contract of 120 million the people on the roadside, because of the power of aggregation. I think we've also agreed with you that we have among the lowest saving as a percentage of GDP in our region. It is not possible for us to continue contributing 200 shillings and pretending that we are doing anything called saving. It is not saving. It is a joke. And we have agreed, and we have been taken through the numbers here, what savings can do for our country. In fact, savings is biblical. I mean, it's, honestly, yeah? The Bible says, a good man leaves an inheritance for his children. So, for those of you who are believers, you will also be fulfilling what the Bible says. And you could possibly go to heaven. for saving, you know? So we all agree that we have to raise our savings as a percentage of GDP. It is not possible for NHIF to continue receiving 200 shillings from people who earn as much as 1,500,000, 200,000. You have heard that it's even becoming expensive administering the 200,000. We have just been told here, if you continue with the 200 shillings, it is better to stop. So, good people, we have to do the necessary reforms, change the law, amend the regulations so that we can save appropriately. We've all been given the benefits of saving. It not only secures our future, it gets us the resources to implement and grow our country, to implement our plans, to fund our development, so that when we fund our development, we create jobs. Not grow our wealth on the savings of other people, because they are not going to give us free money. They'll give us money, but they will demand a return on it. So we become their slaves. So we are going to implement the new NSSF law, hopefully when we get it out of court, either by settlement or by implementing what the court will have directed, but certainly we need to make a movement in that direction. I cannot say everything else that we have said, but I really value the time we have spent since yesterday. And I appreciate that many members may have thought we would come to Naivasha and enjoy ourselves. Unfortunately, it has become like CBC. It has become like CBC. Too much homework. And so, but I am sure we'll get another occasion to enjoy ourselves. This was a very important session. I'm sorry we have pushed everybody to the limit, but we all agree that we have taken a lot of valuable information that will help us prosecute our work in Parliament and everywhere else. So tunakubaliana hivyo? I also want to say that this afternoon we have also chosen our leadership in in both houses, the leaders of majority in Senate, and the leaders of the majority coalition party in the National Assembly. Our friends on the other side will choose the leaders of the minority because they are the minority. They just have to live with the reality that they are the minority. Let us not have an unnecessary contest as to which side is the majority. Since they lost the instruments of coercion, because the only way they had a semblance of numbers is when they could use the police and the DCI and the EACC and the KRA and all these other institutions to intimidate and blackmail and threaten people. Since the people of Kenya stopped them from having those instruments, they have taken their place because freedom has come to Kenya. And people, everybody can make a choice that their own independent choices without blackmail and threats and intimidation. So our leader of majority in National Assembly is going to be the Honorable Kimani Ichung'wah, the Member of Parliament for Kikuyu. Congratulations, Mheshimiwa. Tumpigie makofi huyu jamaa. The Deputy Leader of Majority in the National Assembly is Owen Baya, the Member of Parliament for Kilifi South. Kilifi North, sorry. Pigeni makofi. The Chief Whip of the National Assembly is going to be the Member of Parliament for South Mugirango, Silvanus Osoro. Congratulations, Mheshimiwa. The Deputy Whip of the National Assembly is going to be Naomi Wako, the Women Member of Parliament for Marsabit County. The Leadership of Senate, Leader of Majority, Aaron Cheruiyot, Senator for Kericho County. Congratulations, Mheshimiwa. Deputy Majority Leader, Tabitha Karanja, the Senator of Nakuru County. Chief Whip, Boni Halwale, Bullfighter, Senator Kakamega County. Congratulations again. And finally, Deputy Chief Whip, Tumbezi Lelegwe, Senator Samburu County. A round of applause for those good people who will lead our teams in both the Senate and National Assembly. The other matters, as we have agreed, will be handled by my very able deputy here on the other matters to do with Parliament in consultation with now these leaders and the party leaders in our coalition so that we can present a team that will make sure that our agenda in both houses in Parliament is prosecuted appropriately in a timely manner so that we can deliver on the commitments we made to the people of Kenya. Members, ladies and gentlemen, I sincerely want to appreciate the party leaders who are in our midst, my good brother Musalia Mudavadi, my good brother Alfred Mutua, my good brother Mule, and all the party leaders who are here. I know, Medhu, you are not yet a party leader. Ngojea kidogo, bado kidogo. Yeah. To thank all the members My good brother, Roba, the party leader of UDM, is right in the house. And Mwangi Kiunjuri, who is right here. His other name, for those of you who don't know, is called Festus. And who else? David Ochieng, the party leader of MDG, is in the house. Na ule mwingine nani? Who is that guy? Abdi. Is that Abdi? Is that Abdi? Yes, Abdi. The party leader of NAP from all the way from Ijara. Nani mwingine? Kamket. The Jogo man in our midst. Who is that? Mr. Mandasi. From all the way from CCM. The member of parliament for Chepalungu, right there. Anybody else? Of course, the party leader of Ford Kenya is not here because he's our speaker, and we would rather keep him neutral from this. But I think the acting party leader for this meeting is investor there. Mr. Wanyonyi. And of course, we have Karemba. You know, we have people and then we have a Mukorino. Okay. So, members, congratulations to all of you for making time so that we can engage in this meeting. I wish you the very best in the rest of the balance of the meeting. I think we can conclude this meeting there now so that we are all free to enjoy the balance of the evening, and then we can leave tomorrow morning. So, asanteni sana. Is there anything? Okay, I think that concludes the business of this parliamentary group meeting. Asanteni sana, and may the good Lord bless you.
Nabi Nambwera. Thank you, Nabi. I remember you yesterday when you stood on a point of order. Yeah, thank you. I'm therefore going to read the resolutions of the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition Party Parliamentary Group meeting, which was held yesterday and today, comes to an end, 16th and 17th of September 2022. The Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition Party has successfully concluded a two-day parliamentary group meeting in Machakos County. In the meeting, the parliamentary group took stock of the state of the nation and developed its plan for the 13th parliament. From the outset, we wish to associate ourselves fully with the remarks of the Right Honorable Raila Odinga when he opened the meeting. The Right Honorable Odinga's speech has brought to the fore very pertinent issues that should form the basis of serious national discourse going forward. For the avoidance of doubt, Azimio Oka is legally and legitimately the majority coalition in the National Assembly. This is not a matter for determination by any individual or office. It is simple arithmetic. And so, to settle this matter and put the record straight once and for all, members of Parliament belonging to the Azimio Oka coalition have been properly advised to take up majority roles and responsibilities in and out of the National Assembly chamber. The Ruto administration has started off on the wrong footing on almost every front. Most painful to the ordinary Kenyan is the declaration that Kenya Kwanza will not subsidize consumption, but will channel subsidies to production. What a quick about turn against the ordinary Kenyan struggling to afford a basic meal a day. A government that can't feed our people has no business being in office. The import of this statement by the Ruto administration is that this government is committed to collecting taxes from the suffering masses to give a lifeline to big manufacturers of food and non-food items. The question to ask is, who are these producers going to be selling their products to, since the ordinary Kenyan can hardly afford a simple meal? Why has the hustler, quote-unquote, narrative disappeared so soon? In a blatant but ill-advised move to placate the judiciary and further weaken the legislature, the president has done the unthinkable. He has purported to allocate the judiciary some token funds to ostensibly move forward the agenda of an independent institution. This is a mockery of the basic intelligence of consumers of justice and must be seen for what it is. Financial and operational autonomy of the judiciary cannot and will not be guaranteed by tokenism. It can only be assured by creating an environment that guarantees clear separation of powers between the three arms of government. And whereas funds are necessary for effective dispensation of justice, it is not the business of a president acting in isolation to allocate funds to the judiciary. Appropriation of funds to public institutions is a constitutional mandate of Parliament. The president must tame his appetite for throwing money at institutions to buy friendship. He must keep up the judiciary and let the legislature do its work. As part of the Ruto administration's vindictive agenda, plans have already been initiated to hound out of office the 4 IEBC commissioners, namely Juliana Cherera, Francis Wanderi, Irene Masit, and Justice Nyang'aya, plus the Deputy CEO, very hard-working Madam Ruth Kulundu, for refusing to toe the line. We totally condemn this brazen act of witch hunt and demand that the President and his agents leave those officers alone. On our part, we commit to do whatever it takes to protect those officers from any attempts to infringe their basic rights. We have noted several cases of disproportionate allocation of nomination slots for MCAs to political parties across the country. For instance, in Tana River County, Ford Kenya won 1 MCA seat and was allocated 1 nomination slot. In the same county, Wiper Democratic Movement won 2 MCA slots, but was not allocated any nomination slot. Similar cases clearly. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We can actually take a seat. Eh? Yeah. So, let our brother take a seat. He's been repudiated. Very well. I will repeat. We have noted several cases of disproportionate allocation of nomination slots for MCAs to political parties across the country. For instance, in Tana River County, Ford Kenya won 1 MCA seat and was allocated 1 nomination slot. In the same county, Wiper Democratic Movement won 2 MCA slots, but was not allocated any nomination slot. And I think this list is growing by the day. We have seen cases of people without the necessary qualification. So it's in the media today. Some cooks are given positions. And I think it is important we We also, whereas our cooks are very important, they give us food. But I think that it's good to allow them to pursue that line so one can become a chef and even get international jobs. But to give them legislative responsibility, I think is diverting their strong attributes. Similar cases clearly designed to disadvantage Azimio Oka abound across the country. And here I can also mention that Jubilee in the Senate won five slots, and they were given one nomination slot. And if you are to round up a 0.7, I'm told they are taking this matter elsewhere in court, which is appropriate. I think UDM had two. There are two, and they got a slot. So you wonder what is really happening with the IBC. Is it business as usual? Several attempts to have dialogue with the IBC to resolve these issues have not been successful. We demand that the IBC moves with speed to correct those anomalies, failure to which we shall be forced to take our own action to have the situation remedied. We have heard with consternation pronouncements from the Order Brigade calling on the DCI to keep off public offices and retreat to their headquarters. Apart from interfering with the independence of the National Police Service, we take such edicts to mean the room is now being officially created for looting of public resources to go on without hindrance. We demand the immediate retraction of those backward orders and reiterate our resolve to defend the independence of the police and all other independent institutions. We have also noted with concern the return of roadside declarations, official channel of espousing government policy. This is happening even before a cabinet that meets the dictates of the Constitution is in place. This should worry every well-meaning Kenyan. Finally, let it be known to all and sundry, the leaders in Azimio Oka are not interested in any jobs whatsoever from the executive. We already have a lot of work to do, as we have demonstrated even this afternoon, keeping the executive under check. And truth be told, the insinuation from a section of Kenya Kwanza leadership that legislators allied to them are in government any more than those allied to Azimio Oka is a demonstration of lack of understanding of the basic principles of Constitution 2010 on their part. The legislature is an arm of government, and all legislators have a constitutional mandate to oversight the executive arm of government. In conclusion, we now have the pleasure to unveil the leaders of Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition Party in the 13th Parliament. At the level of the National Assembly, we announce the leader of majority as Honorable Opiyo Wandayi. We announce Deputy Leader of Majority, Honorable Robert Mbui. The Chief Whip, Honorable Junet Mohamed. Deputy Chief Minority Whip, Honorable Sabina Chege. At the Senate, because we recognize we are down by only one senator, the Leader of Minority is Honorable Stuart Mazayo, Senator for Kilifi, and Deputy Leader of Minority, Honorable Enoch Wambua. Chief Minority Whip, Honorable Fatuma Dulo, Senator for Isiolo, and the Deputy Chief Minority Whip, Honorable Edwin Sifuna. Thank you, and may God bless Kenya.